Hey guys!
Hi everyone.
Jen and Miloš here. Great to see some of you already know us, but if you are new to our channel, just a quick little introduction. I'm the American wife.
And I'm the Croatian husband.
And in normal times, we spend half the year on the road leading group trips around Central Europe and split the other half of the year between my country of the US
And Croatia.
and Miloš's country of Croatia. So we get our fair share of being able to compare the two countries and the two continents.
Correct. And I spent a decent amount of time in the United States. I was an exchange student for a year in Indiana. Boy, was that a culture shock. And plus I spent about 4 years in the United States in college. So I definitely have a good grasp of how things are in the United States overall. And we also want to mention that for the purposes of this video, we are going to generalize. We realize that not all things are always the same. Perhaps there are some things in the United States that have changed, or maybe you live in a certain part of the US where things are not like that. And the same thing from Croatia. And some of the examples that we're going to be giving you can be both for Croatia and Europe in general, and can vary slightly, but for the purposes of this video, we are going to generalize. So we're going to give you some of our observations of cultural differences between the United States and Croatia and Europe in general.
And again, to piggyback on that, what Miloš said, I'm from southeastern Pennsylvania in the Philadelphia region, so that's going to be very different from somebody who's maybe from Wisconsin or someone from Arizona. There can be a lot of differences.
We've been actually wanting to do this video for quite a bit of time. We always have people asking, how is it here versus there? How do I like it in the United States versus Croatia?
What we're going to do is we're going to have actually several videos where we show some of these differences.
Because we don't want it to get too long.
But in today's video, we're going to talk about differences in the home.
Yeah, we're gonna start from where most people start their day. All right, so the first example that we have for you when it comes to these cultural differences, US versus Croatia or even Europe, it's going to be how we do our clothes, how we wash our clothes. And Jen will piggyback on that.
Yeah, so in the US, for the most part, almost everybody has a clothes dryer. So after you wash your clothes, you stick most of them in the dryer. And lickety split, they're dry, they're soft and fluffy, they're warm, they're ready to go. You don't have to iron. If you take them right out of the dryer, you don't have to iron them. Yeah. You could do multiple loads of laundry a day.
Yeah, you basically are done with your laundry from start to finish in about an hour and a half. You do your laundry, you just immediately put it in the dryer. 45 minutes later, roughly 1 hour, depending on how much you have, you are done. You don't have to iron anything. Done. It is a very different story in Croatia, and it's not like you can't buy a dryer in Croatia. It's just most people don't have it. I do realize that in the past few years, more and more people have it, but overall, people don't have it. And I'll give you an example. My grandma, when we were telling her that we were going to buy a dryer, we ended up not buying it yet. Yeah. But she's like, why? Oh, why would you buy a dryer? You have all this sunshine, and you have Buddha, and wind, a different kind of wind. It's so much better. I'm like, Grandma, no, it's not. And my mother is the same way. It's not better. Put it in the washer, you put it in the dryer after that, and you are done. Hour and a half, everything's done. No ironing. It is so easy. Your clothes are soft. They smell great. So that's a huge difference when it comes to just living, just a household difference between Croatia and US. And you can say Europe in general.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to add on to that, I think one of the reasons this happens is because there's this prevalent misconception that the dryers will ruin all your clothes.
So will the sun.
You know, the sun fades your clothes too. And the difference is here you have to meticulously hang up all your clothes on a drying rack.
She does that.
You have,
I don't do it.
You know, some clotheslines maybe out on your balcony, but you're doing each one individually. You have to wait for everything to dry before you can do another load of laundry. And depending on the weather, it can take a while to dry.
All right, do we want to continue with the next one?
I think let's go on to the next one. What do you guys think?
I think that's a good one. Okay.
Ooh, this is a good one. It has to do with how you make the bed. So in the US, for the most part, you know, you have your fitted sheet that hugs the mattress, and then the next layer is the flat sheet. and then you put your blanket or duvet, comforter, whatever on top
Why do
of
you
that.
need the sheet?
Well, I want to say because in the US, a lot of our duvet covers aren't machine washable. They're like fancy schmancy and you can't wash them as regularly. So you keep that sheet between your body and the duvet, the comforter, the blanket, and you only wash the sheets. You don't have to wash the duvet cover.
Okay, see, this is one of the examples where we disagree. I don't care about a top sheet. Nobody in Europe uses a top sheet. And we'll obviously put in some pictures so you see what we mean. We basically just have our blanket, or you're gonna have your duvet or whatever, and you sleep like that. In the US, hotels as well, it's not just in the homes. They always have a sheet and then there's a duvet over that, which, why? It's
And
actually
you know
annoying
what?
to me.
In the summer, where like, you know, when it's starting to get like warm outside, you either sleep with nothing on you or you sleep with a heavy duvet. So I think a top sheet's great because sometimes you just want that sheet.
That's not true. I do have to correct you on that. In summer, what we do, well, now everybody has air conditioning, so it doesn't matter. But, you know, 10, 15 years, 20 before, you would just have a sheet. In summer, when it's 25 degrees at night, you just have a sheet. So if it's too hot, you don't have it. If it's a little bit chilly, you just put the sheet. We do realize also that some of these examples are going to seem very small and very petty, and you would never think about them. But if you travel back and forth as much as we do, and you spend extended periods of time in US and in Croatia or even Europe, some of these things can start to be annoying depending on which side of the aisle you are. Because some of the things I prefer in the US, but some of the things I certainly prefer in Croatia, and vice versa for her. And some of them we agree upon or agree with, and some of them we totally disagree on. All right, the next one.
Now, this one, I actually prefer what we do in the US a little bit more than this. Okay, screens versus no screens in the windows. What do screens do? Why do we have them in the US? Because it keeps the bugs out. So you can open your window and no mosquitoes come in at night, in the evening, when it's, you know, you want to have a fresh breeze. Maybe it's not warm enough for the AC and you just want to let the fresh evening breeze.
That's if you live in Canada. I mean, honestly, in a regular climate, it's it's too hot. So, but anyways, go ahead.
Anyway, so
no offense to Canadians.
Overwhelmingly here in Croatia and Europe in general, I think this is a European thing, there's no screens in the windows.
Mostly no. And we're talking about the screens in the US, the screens that we're talking about, they're screens that are fixed, meaning you can't just slide them up or down, which consequently we do have in our apartment. We do have screens where you can slide them up or down, but in the US, most of them are fixed. So what happens, and what happened to me, is you're trying to go out, or if you're not used to screens like I'm not, you just open the door, and it happened to me that I would just walk through the screen and then either rip it or so.
But it is helpful though when there's bugs.
Yeah, but most Croatian homes don't have screens, and it's definitely not a thing. People will either just close the window or open the window. That's it. Or you have it open until. But I think also things changed with AC, where you can have, you can have fresh air throughout the day, and then you just close it and you have AC.
That's true.
The times are changing.
Yeah.
So again, not a big difference. Maybe a small thing, but when I'm in US, I'm annoyed that everything has a screen, because if I open a window, I want to be able to, put my elbows on the window, observe what's happening in the world. I want to be able to put my hands, my arms through the window. I don't want to be paying attention if I'm going to cram my head into a screen, whereas this lady prefers a screen. So we definitely disagree on these two.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to end our video like we used to do it. We're going to have some rakia. We finally got some rakia. It's it's plum, sorry.
Pear.
So it is pear rakia, and why not? So make sure you stay tuned for part 2 and part 3. We actually have quite a few more of these cultural differences. So stay tuned, stay safe, and živjeli.
Živjeli.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. try that one.
Yeah. All right, so that kind of sums up some of the main differences in the home that jump out at you.
Yeah.
But you know what? What do you guys think? What have you encountered on your travels that maybe kind of threw you for a loop at first and took you by surprise? We'd love to hear about that. Just leave a comment below.
Add whatever you want to add.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have questions? Comment. We're happy to answer your questions. Hit the like button at the bottom of the video because it really does help us. Hit that like button. Get it. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.